Story starts 2 years ago in LA. I had just broken up with Audrey, and I was miserable. We'd been together for 2 years, and I had never told mom and dad about her. In fact, they were freaking out because, you know, here I was, almost 30, never married, which in our culture is like...
Code red.
Code red.
So Geeta and Ravi are here through the American Film Showcase program, the U.S. Department of State's premier film diplomacy program. It brings filmmakers and experts like Geeta and Ravi to meet Egyptian audiences and audiences in 40 other countries around the world. And it helps break down some of the barriers between Americans and those publics, or people in other countries, and helps make their work more accessible.
Can you give us a brief about your film and where did the idea come from?
This film actually happened to us, so it's not like we really thought about it and said, oh, we're going to make a film on this and let's make the film. I mean, it wasn't quite that professional. Ravi can start the story.
So this thing started about 8 years ago, and it was a time in my life when I had just broken up with my white girlfriend who I never told my parents about because I was we were both raised with the expectation that we were going to marry not only within our culture, but a certain kind of Indian with the same last name as us, not someone who we're related to, but last name with Indians is a caste-based thing, so it means we have same kind of values, background, all these things. So, obviously I didn't tell my parents about the white girlfriend, but also in our culture there's no such thing as dating. So you don't talk about dating. So I had broken up with this girlfriend, and we got on a plane for our annual trip to India we take as a family. And on that flight, my parents are talking about the one thing they only know to talk about, which is, when are you going to get married? It's all they talk about. And meanwhile, I'm like secretly depressed, and I can't share that with them. They actually think I've never, I have no people skills whatsoever when it comes to women, which is approximately correct. But I had actually dated girls, just never told them about it. So Geeta, this whole time, had a camera. She had just completed her previous documentary and wanted to learn how to operate the camera. So while we're on this flight, she's messing with the camera, and we're having these conversations. And throughout the course of this trip, we're going to our parents' villages. She was really just like messing with this camera. I'm going to do some sort of a film about the charity work that our family does in their villages. But by the time the trip was done, we had all this footage that were conversations that ended up becoming the beginning of this documentary. And we came back to the States, and we took all this footage and we cut it into a kind of a funding trailer. And next thing you know, Meet The Patels was born.
How did you convince your parents to actually join the film? Like, my mom, literally, if I have a camera and she's fighting with me about something and I'm like, yeah, I'm like this, she's gonna kill me, literally. She's gonna
we actually, that's really funny you say that. So you know exactly how we feel. That was the one thing we didn't do. So there was a certain level where we knew we would not put the camera in mom and dad's face.
The truth is, my mom and dad, I mean, you watch the movie, they are the most comfortable movie stars. Yes, and by the way, they're becoming famous now.
No, in America, we have the highest divorce rate we've ever had in history. It's over 50%. Okay. That is huge. Whereas in the Indian community in America, it's a very small divorce rate, if anything. And it doesn't mean that all the marriages are healthy, but the ones that we know in our family are healthy.
It's actually not that far from what it sounds like. There, in some parts of Egyptian culture, the khutbah. Did I say that right?
I think it's so interesting that the Egyptian culture and the Indian culture, they actually came from the same roots of arranged marriage. And there are changes happening in both cultures right now, regardless of where we are.
How did you make sure that some of the stuff in the film wouldn't offend anyone? Because you see, there are a lot of jokes about your culture and stuff. Did it bother anyone?
We didn't make an effort not to offend anyone. Yeah. The main effort we made is to just be authentic and respectful. So to that extent, I mean, look, the film is entirely populated by friends and family and people who are kind enough to lend their likeness to a public forum, and that's an incredibly kind of precious gift that they gave us.
In the film, you managed to capture extraordinary moments and raw emotions and drama with your family. I remember the scene of your mom in the car where you were asking her if she's going to be okay for you to date or see or even like get serious with someone who's not in your culture, like not Indian or a Patel or something. Do you ever feel nervous that you're not going to be able to capture such moments in future projects? Like, how do you prepare for such risk?
No, I don't think we're ever afraid that we won't capture those kinds of moments. I think I think that's the beauty of documentary filmmaking. You know, it's a beauty of life in so many ways. Like, I think our job is to love everyone around us and have them feel comfortable enough to be themselves. And documentary filmmaking, that's literally, it is your job. You know, you can't sit there and behave a certain way and then expect someone to be, you know, to feel safe. Like, it's the entire art of documentary filmmaking, in my opinion, in working with other people rather than issues, is to actually allow them to be themselves.
You're a very good interviewer, by the way. You have a very good, you have a great interviewing kind of.
Alone?
You're a natural.
Really?
Yeah, because you have a good interviewing persona.
Who's your favorite comedian?
My favorite comedian
All time.
all time. Yeah, Ellen DeGeneres.
I knew you were going to say that.
Really?
I'm not sure. I don't know. That's a hard question. I don't know. Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber is a great answer.
Unintentional comedian.
I mean, for me, it's Tina Fey. So I don't.
love her.
Yeah, and Mindy. You know, have you watched the Mindy Project?
She just directed the Mindy Project.
Oh my God, are you serious? It's like my favorite show. It's really my favorite show. Are you serious?
Just directed it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is like
She's funny.
Hey guys, my name is Ravi Patel. This is my sister Geeta Patel.
Hi.
From Meet The Patels. The movie right now is on Netflix and illegally downloadable on many torrents. Don't forget to listen to our interview here on Radio Hits 88.2.
88.2.